Hey everyone. Today I'm going to give you a short tutorial on upgrading the visuals in a built-in vanilla Ravenshield map. Now there's been some interest in this lately. Actually, there's been interest in it since the release of the Ravenshield 2.0 mod. So back in the day, the mod was released and it updated some of the textures that were on the vanilla weapon models. And people started asking questions like, could we also do this to the Ravenshield maps so we get an upgraded look? And I think the Ravenshield 2.0 team actually did it for one map. They did it for Airport, but it never really took off. And there's some pretty good reasons why it never took off and why it was not a successful project. And we'll talk a bit about that in this video. We'll also talk about how you can properly modify how a vanilla map looks in order to give it an upgraded look, and a couple quick tips for that. So like I said, there's been some interest in this lately. I have been working on a upgraded version of my favorite multiplayer map, Warehouse, and I believe that one of the other active modders in the game, Legacy, he has been working on an upgraded version of Streets. So there's been definitely some interest in making the game look as good as it can now. We're almost in 2021. The game is just about 18 years old, but it still looks pretty darn good for its age. And there's definitely people asking, why can't we just make the maps as good as they can get? So here I am in Unreal Ed. And this is what the 2.0 devs did, is they picked their map that they want to work on. So here's a Warehouse. Here's the map Warehouse, and what they did is they opened up the texture packages that has all of Warehouse's textures in it. So here's a lot of the textures in use, and they said, okay, well, here is a brick wall, and it's 256 by 256. Let's just replace this texture with much bigger texture that is named exactly the same. So they just went File, Import, they found their texture that's named the same, they just imported it, hit Save, and it automatically, in the map, like here's that brick wall, it automatically replaced that with the new HD texture. So it was a really simple way to get upgraded visuals, and it's a really bad idea. Don't do that. The problem with that is it modifies built-in game files. It modifies this warehouse_t texture package, and it modifies the warehouse.rsm map file itself, which means that once you've modified that and saved it, you cannot play a multiplayer game with anybody else on this map or using any map that uses that texture file. You'll get booted out of the server. Don't mess with vanilla game files. So that, in my opinion, was the big mistake that the 2.0 mod made. And that's the big reason why upgrading maps visually didn't get any traction. It never took off anywhere. Instead, you want to insert all your textures, all your new models into a new package that has a unique name. So I called mine Warehouse HD_T. These are all my new textures, which I ripped out of Modern Warfare 3. There's some beautiful textures in here. I may not use all of them, but they look pretty good. I got a new skybox in here, which is from Battlefield 1, I believe. Just a whole bunch of nice looking stuff. It's going to make a good upgrade. And I've even got my static meshes in the same package. So just some container upgrades, new cranes, that sort of thing. It's all in its own package with a unique name, which means it's not going to mess with any built-in vanilla files. And then, to make sure I'm not messing with the built-in vanilla map, I'm going to save a new copy. So File, Save As. And I'm going to call it Warehouse HD. And now I can modify it however I like. So now that I have my uniquely named map file and package file, so I'm not messing with any vanilla game files, the tip that is going to really make this an easy process is using Shift-T. So I'm going to select the texture I want to replace. So I've got this blue corrugated tin texture, and I'm going to hold Shift and press T, and you can see it will select anywhere in the map where that texture exists. Now they're all selected, and now I can just replace all of them at once. So I go find my replacement texture. I like this one here. This is from Modern Warfare 3, and it was originally this texture, and I just gave it some blue color to fit the theme of the warehouse map. I click it, and now they're all replaced. And now you can see it was on a different angle, so you can now go into your texture properties, your surface properties, and I can rotate it, and already it's looking pretty darn good. Sometimes the scaling will change because you're using a larger size texture, and so you'll want to apply like 0.5 scaling, make it smaller, right? That is a much higher resolution looking texture than the original. and it looks pretty darn nice. So you can do this repeatedly with a bunch of different textures. So here I'll click this wall, Shift T. I'm going to go into my Modern Warfare 3 textures. I'm going to look for a good brick wall replacer. Nice brick texture here. We'll give this a try. Click it and automatically selects all of them. Now look, those bricks are huge because this is a different resolution texture. It's intended to be much smaller and tighter detail. So again, we hit F5. I'll apply the simple scaling, and that's looking pretty good. Nice big upgrade over the original. Not too much work, and I'm not messing with vanilla game files. And then the other step that can be pretty important is replacing out some of the models. So I've got this ugly container model, which is pretty standard. It's in a lot of the Raven Shield maps. And so what I'm going to do is, before I get rid of it, leave it on. The reason I'm leaving it in instead of deleting it is so that I can see the exact spot that it sits. So I'll add in my model, which it will be this container. And then I'm going to arrange and resize this model to fit where that model should be. So I'm going to use my F4 actor properties window, display. It's not going to fit perfectly, but that's part of the charm. We're getting close now. And then once you have it positioned, you delete the old one. You may have to fiddle around with it, right? Like this is kind of cutting into my fence here. When you're putting in new models, don't forget to rebuild your lighting. Just wait for this to build. And you can see that that's quite a nice upgrade over the old container. It's still going to take a little bit of work and placement, and I've got to, of course, match up locations. Right now you can see it's clipping into the base of this crane, but that'll change when I replace the crane model. But yeah, it's a nice upgrade visually. Looks really good. Just so you can see how much of a difference it makes. This is very work in progress. I haven't replaced every texture yet or every model yet, but this is me playing a bot match in Warehouse with the upgraded visuals, and it's awesome. It's definitely the way to play the game. Like, it looks nice. I mean, like, look at this room. Looks fantastic. New models here for big wood crates. Got them. Oh, somebody coming down the stairs. Got him. Yeah, there you go. A couple of quick tips about upgrading a map. Good luck. I hope it goes well for you.